UFC Abu Dhabi is this weekend. I'm going to be breaking down the entire card, starting off with the main event, working my way down the card to the first prelim of the night. We have a pretty stacked card. As you can see, all of the matchups are already listed on the screen there, and everyone highlighted in red is going to be my pick to win their fight. If you just so happen to be colorblind, those are going to be the fighters to the right side. And if you just so happen to not know your left from your right, it's Robert Whittaker, Petr Yan, Shara Magomedov, Aus Almabayev, so on and so forth. If you look at the very bottom there, there is going to be a favorite pick section. I'm going to be doing that every single week. It's 3 fighters that I'm going to choose off the card that I do believe have some sort of advantage in their matchup. Whether it be they're significantly better strikers, they're way better grapplers, they're coming in here with a whole load of more experience. Something is itching me and leaning me toward those specific fighters, so I'm going to be taking them with a lot more confidence week in and week out. Anyways, let's get right into it, man. Reinier de Ridder versus Robert Whittaker has blown my mind. I cannot believe that this is literally almost at a pick'ems. It's almost at a pick'ems, and there are so many people all over Reinier de Ridder. Do I have to remind you who we're dealing with, bro? Do I have to remind you who Bobby Knuckles is? We're going to sit here and act like Bobby Knuckles isn't this monster that's more than likely going to beat Reinier de Ridder with his amazing striking and his in and out bounce and his blitz and his you know? Reinier de Ridder obviously has the opportunity to take him down. But I don't think Rob is going to make it easy, bro. There is no chance, okay, that Reinier de Ridder is pulling a Khamzat Chimaev and launching himself across the octagon as soon as Marc Goddard drops his hands and says, "Fighters, let's go." There is no chance that you can convince me that Reinier de Ridder is going to pull that off. And there is a chance that he can trip him up, but let's not compare the trip that Dricus du Plessis had on Robert Whittaker versus a trip that Reinier de Ridder is going to pull off. DDP is so unorthodox, and as much as you want to say, well, Reinier de Ridder is unorthodox too, Dricus du Plessis blows Reinier de Ridder out of the water. Okay, Dricus du Plessis goes in there and does it basically whatever he wants to do, I feel like, in that matchup against Reinier de Ridder. And Reinier de Ridder is good, bro. Do not get it folded. Do not get it twisted. You know, this guy has submitted Kevin Holland, who just lost to D-Rod, by the way, last weekend. Oh, he also submitted Gerald Meerschaert after he almost got, like, touched up and pieced up by Gerald Meerschaert, but he did submit him. And then, you know, he also beat... I'm drawing a blank right now. Oh, my goodness, I'm drawing a blank right now. Anyways, so we're going to compare Kevin Holland and Gerald Meerschaert to Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev. Oh, okay, cool. There are levels to this game, and Robert Whittaker is about to show levels on Saturday afternoon. Bobby Knuckles by late 4th or 5th round TKO. I could potentially see this going to a decision. Reinier de Ridder is tough. And this is, look, I'm not sitting here and I'm not trying to shit on Reinier de Ridder. He's a phenomenal fighter, bro. Bo Nickel, that's who it... Bo Nickel. He's coming off a body shot TKO to Bo Nickel. And we're sitting here and acting like he's going to blow Bobby Knuckles out the water. No chance. No way, bro. Bobby Knuckles is going to win this fight. Reinier de Ridder is a good fighter, but when it comes to, like, the top 15 in a weight class, okay, there's top 15, and then there's, like, top 10, and then there's top 5, okay, that's up here. And then, you know, there's the champion-esque level that's, like, you know, past the screen, but Bobby Knuckles is still, I believe, at that top 5 level, and I don't see how Reinier beats him. Bobby Knuckles is going to be in and out. He's going to be moving. He's going to be quick. He's going to blitz him. He's not just going to stand put, let Reinier grab him, and go down with no resistance. I think if Robert Whittaker is actually able to see these takedowns coming, as opposed to Dricus du Plessis, who just kind of pulls it out of his ass, and Khamzat Chimaev, who you can see it coming, but there's literally nothing you can do about it, especially in that first round. I think Robert Whittaker will do just fine on the ground. Give me Robert Whittaker, like I said, late 4th, 5th TKO or decision. Reinier is pretty tough. Marcus McGhee and Petr Yan, Another matchup where there are just levels to this. I love the fact that Marcus McGhee is getting pushed up this far already after beating Jonathan Martinez, but I think it's too big and too steep of a jump, okay? I think going from Jonathan Martinez, who, by the way, he was losing that fight. Let's not act like Jonathan Martinez didn't just throw IQ out the window and give that fight to Marcus McGhee, kind of. Okay, Marcus McGhee, I love. I love the way he fights. He's a phenomenal fighter. He is a brawler, a marauder, so to speak, but Marcus McGhee is, I just don't see him beating Petr Yan. Petr Yan's going to have the better cardio. He's going to have the way better boxing. If Petr Yan comes in here and incorporates leg kicks the way he has been in a few of his recent fights, he'll throw a leg kick here and there. If he can do kind of what Jonathan Martinez was doing, kick that calf a little bit, get Marcus slowed down a little, that is going to favor Petr. I don't even want to get into it. If Petr starts throwing leg kicks, I don't even want to get into this matchup. That's a 30-27 easily in my books. I am going to give Marcus McGhee I do feel like Marcus McGhee is going to make a round either close or win a round. And I do see Petr Yan kind of winning a 29-28 pretty easily, but there is potential for a 30-27. Don't get it twisted. Petr Yan could absolutely blow Marcus McGhee out of the water. It's just, it's a huge step up. We are talking about a former champion, bro. A former champion who has only lost to the best. And arguably, sometimes got robbed to the best. But still, nonetheless, I think Petr Yan comes in here, does exactly what he needs to do, puts the pressure, the pace, and just kind of overwhelms Marcus McGhee a little too much on the feet. I could even see Marcus McGhee trying to shoot in this matchup. But, you know, we'll see come fight day. Marc-Andre Barriault and Shara Magomedov. I've been tossing and turning because I honestly think Marc-Andre Barriault is live in the first like 2.5 minutes to potentially knock Shara out. Why do I feel like Marc-Andre Barriault could just chin him, bro? If it goes to decision, Shara Magomedov is winning this 120%. It doesn't matter if Marc-Andre Barriault wins all 3 rounds. They are going to figure out a way to give it to Shara Magomedov. If Marc-Andre Barriault doesn't land that big punch, Shara Magomedov's winning. But like I said, there is that potential for Mark to knock him out in those first 2.5 minutes. We'll see how the fight goes. I am going to take Shara Magomedov, though. I'm going to take a swing and say his chin is going to last, and he's going to end up getting the nod via decision, whether he wins this fight or not. You can't even deny that Abu Dhabi has some weird stuff going on all the time. Every single fight card, there's a weird robbery that happens. It always happens. Jose Ochoa and Aus Almabayev. I would be all over Jose if he was a little bit more prepared, had a little bit more time to prepare, because Aus Almabayev is not an easy guy to prepare for. Pressure, grappler, he's just going to keep shooting and wrapping his arms around you and trying to take your back and not giving you an inch to breathe. You have to land some big shots early on to give this guy, you know, a heads up. Hey, if you come close to me, I'm going to hit you and it's going to hurt. Okay, I don't think Jose Ochoa, he's live to land those big shots, but I don't think he's going to be able to knock out Aus. I think Au's pressure is just going to overwhelm him. There will be a few opportunities where Jose lands and he gets Aus kind of wobbled, especially in that first round, but I think Aus ultimately is going to come through with his grappling. He's probably going to stink this one up a little bit, you know, let's be honest, but he's going to end up winning this fight. The judges are going to give it to him. They're, for some reason, you know, they're going to favor. And another thing in Abu Dhabi, too. Another thing in Abu Dhabi that I do have to say, for some reason, they almost put, like, cage control and just clinching on the same sort of scoring level as they do damage. It's so weird. Like, you could do so much damage in like a minute, and then your opponent gets 4 minutes of control time, and they're like, I mean, he did control the fight for a little bit longer, you know? I mean, damage is like kind of right there, and he did do a lot of damage, but this guy has 4 minutes of control time, guys. 4 minutes is a lot. That's 80% of the round, guys. 80%. I mean, if you're getting an 80% on any sort of test, you're passing, so we might have to give him this round. I swear, dude. Sometimes that's just how they think in Abu Dhabi. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know why they don't judge damage on the same criteria. I swear, the cage control time over there is like their holy grail to winning fights. And Aus Almabayev is going to have a lot of cage control time. So I'm going to favor him to win this fight. Is he going to finish Jose? Probably not. Jose's one tough kid, and I don't want to call him a kid. He's actually 24. For some reason, I thought Jose was like 20. Like, I thought he was way younger than he was. He's actually 24, about to turn 25, I think. So I don't want to call the grown man a kid, but man, I want Jose Ochoa to win this, but Aus Almabayev is going to win it via decision. Nikita Krylov and Bogdan Guskov. Nikita, after his last fight against Dominic Reyes, I can't back him to beat Bogdan Guskov, who has just as much power, if not more power, than Dominic Reyes, bro. This guy hits like a freight train, okay? And if you don't have a chin, if you're not fresh into the game, if you've been knocked out before, and if you're coming off a brutal knockout, that is not going to favor you at all in a matchup against Bogdan Guskov. I think he's well suited to hold his own on the ground too. I think he can keep it on the feet, and as long as he keeps this on the feet, I think Nikita is susceptible to getting knocked out. I think Nikita is going to end up getting knocked out, and I am going to take Bogdan Guskov to KO Nikita within the first 2 rounds. It might happen early in that first round. It might happen early in that second round, but I think this fight is not going to see a third round. I think Bogdan Guskov should be getting a KO or a TKO here. Saeed Nurmagomedov and Bryce Mitchell. This matchup had me flipping coins. It had me tossing, turning. It had me watching tape. It had me rethinking Bryce Mitchell. And then I sat down and I said, wait a second. Bryce Mitchell only loses to the best of the best. Yes, he got ninja choked by Jean Silva, but let's not act like Jean Silva isn't about to beat Diego Lopez and then fight Volkanovski in a month and more than likely be the force to beat Volkanovski. I mean, I could very easily see Jean Silva doing exactly what Ilia Topuria did. Lose that first round and then KO him in that second round. Jean Silva is a force to be reckoned with. His grappling is insane. His striking, his power is insane. So that loss is going to age like fine wine, bro. That's going to be a phenomenal loss on Bryce Mitchell's record. Saeed Nurmagomedov, however, is going to be a phenomenal win, I think, on Bryce Mitchell's record. Bryce Mitchell is jumping down a weight class, and I get it. His cardio may not be as good as it usually is. You know, he may not have as much strength. He may not have as much power, but I don't see Saeed Nurmagomedov just being able to deal with the grappling of Bryce Mitchell. Nurmagomedov gasses. He gasses, especially in that second round when you pressure grapple him. And although Bryce Mitchell isn't going to put off a Vinicius Oliveira, you know, pressure, just keep in his face, just throwing whatever he can, throwing kicks, throwing haymakers, throwing spinning back fists. That isn't going to be Bryce Mitchell's game. Bryce Mitchell, I do feel like, is going to go all in on the grappling. There is no shot that Bryce Mitchell is going to take a few shots from Saeed and sit there and say, yeah, maybe I'm going to try and strike with this guy. No. Bryce Mitchell is going to take him down. He is more than likely just going to control him. Is he going to submit him? Probably not. But I do think Bryce Mitchell is going to win this fight via decision. Muslim Salikhov versus Carlos Leal. As long as this fight doesn't go to decision, Carlos Leal is winning this. I do see him knocking Muslim Salikhov out. Salikhov is crafty. He's very crafty. He's got some gnarly kicks. He's got a nasty spinning kick and a question mark kick, but Leal's got a chin. Leal's got a chin, and he's on that good stuff, and I think when you have a chin and you are on that good stuff and you have the ability to knock out just about anyone you fight, because Carlos Leal has power, that's a beautiful recipe to win. And like I said, as long as he doesn't go to the decision, because he has been robbed before in Abu Dhabi, and that should be, if anything, that should be a motivating factor in this fight. Carlos Leal should want to knock out Salikhov or submit him or finish this fight and not allow it to go to the judges, because he's been robbed before. He's felt that. He does not want to go through that again. I'm taking Carlos Leal to knock out Muslim Salikhov late in that third round. I think he's going to put the pace and the pressure on him in that first 2 rounds. Salikhov's going to last, and that third round is just going to be too much. Leal's just going to say, screw this. I cannot afford to lose. I cannot afford to lose. And then he's going to quote Money Moicano on that mic and just go crazy. Davey Grant versus Damon Blackshear. This is a matchup where I just see Damon Blackshear basically having the advantage everywhere. If it stays standing, Damon Blackshear is going to be the better striker. If it goes to the ground, Damon Blackshear should be the better grappler. And I do think Damon Blackshear, as long as he doesn't lose via fluke, you know, crazy Davey Grant, like haymaker in the first 30 seconds, just like he did against Montel, where he literally got dropped and knocked out via a jab. But Montel Jackson hits pretty hard. I don't think Davey Grant hits as hard as Montel Jackson. But Davey Grant still hits hard. As long as something crazy doesn't happen like that in the first minute and a half of this fight, Damon Blackshear should win this fight. And I think he has a pretty good chance of finishing it. However, I think Davey Grant's pretty tough, and I am going to lean via decision. So Damon Blackshear, give me Damon Blackshear to win this fight 29-28, maybe even 30-27 on a judge's scorecard, depending on how that first round works out. Tabatha Ricci, Amanda Ribas, I'm not even breaking down. I'm literally picking Amanda Ribas solely because I like her a little bit better than Tabatha Ricci. I'm not going to sit here and BS you guys and say, oh, well, Tabatha Ricci is a little bit better of a striker, but, you know, Amanda Ribas has a little bit better of a... No, dude, they are literally so similar, like, there is no advantage. Neither of them have an advantage. This is going to be a split decision, and it just depends on how the judges see it, because this is going to be probably the closest fight on the card. Split decision. Give me Amanda Ribas to win this fight. I almost want to switch to Tabatha Ricci because I know I'm going to get screwed. I know I'm going to get screwed picking Amanda Ribas because Tabatha Ricci is going to... And, like, the rightful winner is probably going to be the loser in this fight. Let's put it that way. The rightful winner is probably going to be the loser in this fight. But I'm sticking with Amanda Ribas. Give me Amanda Ribas via split decision. Ibo Aslan and Billy Elanka. I'm taking a swing. I'm taking a swing on the underdog. Ibo Aslan, his last fight, he disappointed me. He disappointed me, and I had Kutalaba, and that was no words. Billy Elanka is more than capable of doing exactly what Ian Kutalaba did. He's got a chin, so I don't think Billy Elanka, you know, is going to get knocked out off the first few shots. It's going to take a little bit more than just a right hand from Ibo, I think, to knock out Billy Elanka. I mean, we saw it, man. He's more than capable of, you know, working on the ground, and this is no Bogdan Guskov. Like, Ibo Aslan, it's insane to me that he's that big of a favorite. This should be a coin flip fight, dude. Billy Elanka could easily take this to the ground, and if he gets it to the ground that first round, Ibo Aslan, 1, is not getting up. 2, if he survives that first round, he is going to be gassed. He's going to be gassed. Billy Elanka came in on short notice and still showed that he had a decent gas tank. Imagine what he does on a full fight camp. I'm taking Billy Elanka with confidence in this fight. I just can't back Ibo Aslan. This is more of a Ibo Aslan fade, if anything, but I also do really like Billy Elanka in this matchup. I think he's got the way better grappling. I think if he can stay safe on the feet, stay defensive, there shouldn't be any resistance to taking Ibo down eventually. If he shows a very telegraphed shot, then, you know, we're talking a different scenario, but I think he's going to have a pretty favorable matchup in this fight, and I couldn't believe he was a dog. Give me Billy Elanka to win this fight via submission, maybe even a TKO on the ground, but this is going to be a finish for sure. This isn't going to decision. Mohammad Yahya and Steven Nguyen. I don't know how. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Steven, if I butchered your last name. I do truly apologize. I'm taking him to win this fight. I am not backing Mohammad Yahya. I just can't. Even in his hometown, even with this fight going to decision, I don't think he's going to do anything. Like, I remember watching his last fight, and all he really did was try and grapple. And, like, it wasn't even grappling. It was just, like, cage, holding in cage, clinching, and, like, holding your opponent up against the fence. And then, like, throwing in a knee or two here and there. So I don't think that's going to be enough to beat Steven. Give me Steven to win this fight via decision. I know I said earlier that Abu Dhabi likes to throw out robberies, but there is no way that if a fighter blatantly loses, it's got to be at least close, and Mohammad Yahya is not going to make this close. Give me Steven to win this fight. 29-28, or maybe even a split. Maybe we could see some weird corruption or some shit, but I don't think it's going to be enough to actually fully rob Steven. I don't think Yahya is even going to do anything to the point where they can give him a round. Like, even if they want to give him a round, there's no chance that they can even justify it. But then again, we've seen some weirder stuff in Abu Dhabi. Give me Steven regardless. And the final fight, the first fight of the night, Martin Buday versus Marcus. This is essentially another Martin Buday fade. I have heard a bunch about Marcus, but he's a newcomer in the UFC. You know, I've heard that this guy is a world-class grappler, that he's one of the best heavyweight grapplers we've ever seen. You know, I haven't watched any tape on him. I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. But Martin Buday just, Martin Buday doesn't even win fights. He just literally fights to fight. Like, he doesn't fight to win. He doesn't fight to, like, hurt his opponents or finish them, at least recently. I don't know what it is, but I just can't trust Martin Buday to win a fight, especially against a high-level grappler like this. I mean, this guy's coming in with credentials like no other, bro. At heavyweight, hopefully Marcus shows levels in the grappling department and just submits Martin Buday, because I would look like a complete dummy if Martin Buday wins this fight, but he's not going to. Give me Marcus Buchecha. Buchecha? Marcus Buchecha? Via submission. I think he's going to end up finishing Martin Buday. And let's just go over real quickly the favorite picks. Robert Whittaker, the Reaper, is in there. You guys already know why, bro. He's being underestimated in this fight. 2, he's got a significant advantage. Significant advantage. Look, you can say all you want about Reinier de Ridder having a huge advantage on the ground. I think the gap in the striking is like the gap in the grappling is big, but the gap in the striking is huge, bro. Huge. Robert Whittaker, like I said, he's gonna make Reinier de Ridder look like he's moving in slow-mo. I promise you that. Robert Whittaker is going to win this fight. He's a confident pick in my book. Petr Yan, another guy that I back with full confidence. Like I said, I love Marcus McGhee with all my heart. One of my favorite fighters, one of my favorite up-and-comers. It just sucks that he's like 35 years old and doesn't really have too much left. I mean, he started the game a little bit later, so, you know, he could fight a little bit later, but how much longer is his body really going to keep up with high-level competition? I'm sure he can win fights in the UFC, but against guys like Petr Yan, come on, bro. That's too tough of a matchup. Give me Petr Yan pretty confidently. And another guy I'm backing with a lot of confidence this week is Aus Almabayev. I love the matchup. As much as I love Jose and as much as I want Jose to win this, the grappling is just going to be too much from Aus. I think he's just going to sap the crap out of Jose Ochoa's gas tank, and I think that's just going to ultimately lead to him getting a pretty easy win in that 3rd round. He should win that 1st round. Jose Ochoa potentially wins that 1st round, maybe lands a big shot, and then Aus just grapples him, tries to gas him out a little bit, but he should win that 3rd round and pretty easily that 2nd round too, especially if he gets hit with a huge shot. Aus is going to wake up and essentially just clinch. He's not going to let Jose do anything. And if you're not doing anything but getting clinched up against the fence, especially in Abu Dhabi, man, like I said, I don't know what it is that they, you know, fiend on over that cage clinching. I don't know why they love it so much, but their judges go absolutely bananas for it. So I'm picking Aus Almabayev pretty confidently, backing my boy up to win the fight. Guys, if you enjoyed the picks and predictions video, do not forget to drop down, subscribe to the channel, leave a like while you're down there, and drop a comment. Let me know which one you disagree with. Sway me in the right direction, man. Let's have a nice civil conversation down there. Or you can. I mean, it's America. It's freedom of speech. You could say whatever you want. Okay? Just try not to use any curse words or anything. You know, keep it friendly. If it slips out, it slips out. It is what it is. But thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your night, morning, afternoon, whatever it is. And I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.